Ladies and gentlemen, they're still thinking, they're still trying to spread the myth that Trump worked with Russia to infiltrate the DNC, to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Thus, in addition to, while simultaneously purchasing Facebook ads. And these Facebook ads, for some reason, would swing voters in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. They still believe this nonsense, and what they do is they just put it under an umbrella, the same umbrella they've used, of Trump-Russia collusion. Adam Schiff today has stated categorically he's not backing down. It's unbelievable. There's still ample evidence of Trump-Russia collusion in plain sight. That's the Washington Times. Schiff refuses to back down on claims against Trump, says he has no regrets. Well, of course not. Fox News, CNN, I don't regret calling out this president on Twitter. Adam Schiff, I'm not going to stop making the point that we should hold our president, our campaigns, our elected officials to a higher standard than mere criminality. What? This is what they did with Clinton. Look, everything is to pave the way for Clinton to run again. What they did was fabricate 2 years of an investigation into Trump using a dossier purchased by Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party and using the information of a third-party tech firm, CrowdStrike, that the United States government utilized as opposed to confirming it with U.S. intelligence. We have no clue if the DNC was hacked. But here's Adam Schiff. This is 2017. He has been saying the same thing for well over 2 years. It is now April of 2019. There is no collusion. There is no obstruction. How can there be an obstruction when James Comey should have been fired when President Obama was in office? But he still wants Trump charged with legal statutes that will eventually be utilized against James Comey and others. We heard that. That's huge news today. There will be criminal referrals given to William Barr this week. But this is Adam Schiff. Check this out. This is in 2017 on CBS. It never ends. And this is the thing. The Democratic Party, because they have media and because they have millions of people who just want to believe something, they have an echo chamber on Twitter where the most nonsensical accusations are leveled at people. That's why one of the reasons I'm no longer on Twitter. They're actually, and you could see with an actor who fabricates his own crime, Democrats reward, they really do reward fake news. They don't care if it's true. That's why when they saw the DNC emails, like, oh my God, from here on out, they told the truth about us, so from here on out, we're just going to fabricate everything about our political opponents. It'll be the same thing. They don't understand that normal and rational individuals throughout the country, the same people they need to win again, they're not going to win in 2020. Clinton is going to lose. She's running again. You think it's going to be Biden Klobuchar? Make America great again for sniffing and eating salad with a comb? I don't think so. But let's listen 2 years ago, CBS, 2 years ago, Representative Adam Schiff reacts to Russia hearing. 2 years ago, nothing has changed. And the media, late night, Hollywood, the music and just the entertainment industry, there's a public relations apparatus that promotes this kind of fabricated narrative. It's okay if you're wrong as long as you're going up against Trump, the embodiment of everything horrible, except when they really look and they say, well, let's see, signed the First Step Act, criminal justice reform. That President Obama didn't do that. He's bringing home Americans from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. He's presiding over peace between North and South Korea. He's what? I mean, we can go on forever. Record low Black and Latino unemployment. There are more jobs than there are people to fill them. So economically, he's amazing. Yeah, are there problems? Sure, but the problems existed 8 years prior to Trump as well. Oh, but he represents this. Okay. What did President Obama do to prevent Standing Rock? And we can go down the litany of horrific things that took place during President Obama's administration. But anyway, listen to Adam Schiff.
But to be crystal clear, this evening, as we speak, there is no hard evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians. You said there's circumstantial evidence.
I would not say, I would not phrase it the way that you did. And circumstantial evidence can be very powerful and is hard evidence. But you can certainly prove many cases on the basis of circumstantial evidence, so people shouldn't underestimate the power of that.
There was no circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence is cash flowing to the Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal, Bill Clinton meeting with Vladimir Putin, yellow cake uranium being shipped out of the country under Bob Mueller's watch. And I explain all of this in Debunking the Trump-Russia Myth in 2017. That's below in the pinned comment. But had to get Johnny Ramone. He was... But Bill Clinton meeting with Vladimir Putin, that is circumstantial evidence. Owning a servers outside of the United States government, that's circumstantial evidence. Because you've already talked about numerous crimes just transferring top secret and special access program intelligence outside of the United States government, which is what Hillary Clinton did. She did that to hide her communication. That's obvious. Then you had FBI agents like Comey utilizing a dossier full of nonsense that Clinton purchased. In simultaneously, along with everything else they did, deceiving FISA judges, fabricating this narrative that we were suspicious. There's no evidence to be suspicious of anything. So they covered up Clinton's crimes. They fabricated crimes with Trump. But you just look at one pay-to-play scheme. There's a money flow where circumstantial evidence is money flowing from an entity or people that want something done for them. Something is actually done for them. And then Bill Clinton meeting and getting a $500,000 speaking engagement. And that's just one pay-to-play scheme. You have 85 donors who gave $156 million. You have UBS who gives money to the Clinton Foundation. Then they get helped out with the IRS. Then Bill Clinton gets $1.2 million in speaking gigs. So this is that's circumstantial evidence. So what they've done, and the thing is, you're watching this, I'm doing my segments, you and we're interested in this, and this is what we do. We're very interested in this, and we know what CrowdStrike is, we know what Fusion GPS is, we know who, a person like Bruce Orr is, all of these, we know the ins and outs. Do you think the average person does? No, they don't. That's why Adam Schiff is speaking to the average Democrat who doesn't care. He's speaking to the average Democrat who simply doesn't care. That's how he gets away with this. But he's still does this sound any different from today? This is 2 years ago. It sounds no different. He can get away with it because the media fosters this belief that you can do anything. They can't stand Trump. They despise him so much, not because of his policies, because of what he represents to them. And meanwhile, what they represent and their actions and their deeds prove them to be the biggest, hypocrites on the planet. But anyway, let's continue.
During your committee hearing, someone using President Trump's official Twitter handle took issue with what was being said by the FBI director, and the director was asked, and he rebutted that. That was pretty unusual, in fact, maybe unprecedented for a congressional hearing.
It was. You don't usually have a real-time fact check of a presidential statement by the director of the FBI and the director of the NSA, but we did get that today. And I think the comment the president had misrepresented was the suggestion that the FBI and NSA had said there was no effect by the Russians on the electoral process. That simply wasn't true.
No, Trump was right. Not one vote was altered. Not one vote was altered. You had the previous NSA chief saying that not one vote was altered in swing states. And it doesn't matter, and this is one thing to remember, it doesn't matter if Trump's intelligence community says the same thing as President Obama's intelligence community. President Trump's intel chiefs have the same underlying goal, which is to foment the idea that they're needed to protect you from Russian Facebook ads. Okay? They're not going to... What are they going to say? Why do you think nobody brings up CrowdStrike? Because it's so obvious. President Trump can't bring up... Well, actually, I think he has brought up CrowdStrike. But he can't harp on it too much. Because it would basically be like, pulling the curtain on the Wizard of Oz. It would be pulling the curtain on the intelligence community and realizing that they think they're going to protect us from Facebook ads. This nonsense about election interference, we don't know how many votes were altered, or influenced, I should say. We don't know which Facebook ads were most effective. Notice how they don't talk about the actual Facebook ads, because if they did, people would laugh at them. There are no Facebook ads that swung the election. There are no Facebook ads that swung the election. There aren't any. There aren't any states that would have gone Clinton. She wouldn't have won Michigan or Pennsylvania or Wisconsin or Florida. You could remove every single one of the Russian Facebook ads that, by the way, most were seen after the election, and the vice president of Facebook stated the goal was not to elect Trump. You could remove all of them, and she would still lose. In 2015, I stated in The Hill, The Huffington Post, and Salon that she was unelectable. And of course, people on the left, many of whom one guy, I was on his channel twice, and then he accuses me of oh yeah, he's grifting. Number one, there are a great many Bernie supporters who are now Trump supporters. Okay. Number two, Trump is a great president. Number three, people like my viewpoints, my voice, because of my ideas. My ideas don't change simply to get subscribers. I've lost subscribers for pointing out things that people don't like, and I've gotten them back. I lost subscribers a whole bunch of times and then got them back shortly after. And this guy works for, well, we can go on forever. This guy works for a network. That's the definition of what he accuses me of. But it's like, and Clinton will be running, and they'll all vote for Clinton again. The same person who referred to black youth as super predators, which is what Clinton did. The same people who said vote for Clinton in swing states will be the same people who say vote for Clinton again in 2020, either in swing states to try to pretend that they're like, not, independent of thought. But you're talking about a paradigm. This is a paradigm. When I was on the left saying the same things, people didn't want to hear it. Now I'm a conservative, or more conservative on things, especially the Second Amendment. I'm a Trump supporter. I read the article, Why Bernie Sanders Supporters Should Vote Trump 2020. If you want foreign policy, less militant foreign policy, a non-interventionist foreign policy, then you vote Trump. You don't vote Democrats, and you certainly don't vote Bernie Sanders, who, by the way, is in a political party or works for a political party that has zero intention to implement Medicare for all. But if you want peace between North and South Korea, the beginning of, if you want a foreign policy that brings home Americans from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, you want a president that actually goes up against the intelligence community, then you vote for President Trump. You don't vote for a Democratic Party that actually utilizes and bolsters corrupt intelligence chiefs simply because it suits them. So, my philosophy is already in my writing. My Federalist article is below why Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump 2020. If there's anyone, because I know the more my writing goes viral, my last article went viral, President Trump should pardon Michael Flynn. People didn't like that. Well, it's right there. All the reasons are there. They're like, oh yeah, H.A. Goodman, how do you go from Bernie to Trump? Well, read why Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump 2020. It's in the Federalist. I'm very honored to be published in the Federalist. That article is there as well. Oh, well, AOC is at least tackling climate change. No, she's not. I explain why her Green New Deal would decimate indigenous communities around the world, especially because the mining of cobalt would lead to devastation, is leading right now to political and environmental mayhem in the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So, but you can't expect, these are people on the left, they fancy themselves to be the most moral individuals. They're not only immoral, they've convinced themselves Trump represents something that they're fighting against. When they don't realize that they don't realize that ultimately, not only will Clinton run again, but let's just say she doesn't, and it's Biden 2020. The same Democratic Party principles, blaming others, blaming Russia for their problems, their failures, not implementing the policies that people on the left want. Medicare for all would be great, but it's not feasible. So it's not economically feasible. If it was, where's the bill? It's April 7th. AOC is more worried about Trump's taxes. They cheated Bernie Sanders. They blame Russia. And then they expect people to just fall in line forever. No, there are people of individual thought like me, critical thinkers that actually say, why would I vote for Bernie again? Why would I vote for a Democratic Party when all they want to do is send Americans off to more counterinsurgency conflicts, create a new Cold War, keep Americans in places where they shouldn't be, away from their sons, their daughters, their mothers, their fathers, their husbands, their wives? Why would I vote for a Democratic Party that loves the intelligence communities that continually deceive the American public? Why would I do that? To create a new Cold War? Why would I do that? The progression from Bernie Sanders to Trump is obvious. I would say that, if you still vote for Bernie, fine, it's great. But I would say that if you think that Bernie Sanders has an independent mind, just watch what happens when Clinton runs again. Because he was cheated in 2016. My writing went viral. He folded within a nanosecond, pushed the Trump-Russia myth that implicated him, and now you have Adam Schiff, and he's not calling out Adam Schiff. He's not defending Assange, and all that started with Clinton. That whole travesty is because of Clinton, not Trump. So don't get that twisted. But all of them work for this. Oh my God, you said this. And well, what about the racist blog posts from a guy you work with? What about Keith Ellison's accuser? What about the FEC complaints from AOC? Talk about money in politics, funneling money from donations from here to there. Ever brought all these wonderful journalists did they bring up the fact that Clinton purchased the dossier, that Clinton outsourced CrowdStrike? No, they didn't. Too close to home. And then, whatever. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Thank you so very much for your support. Check out HA2A. That's my firearms channel below. Also, my writing in the Federalist. Share my writing in the Federalist everywhere. Thank you. And it's in the pinned comment. My latest one, President Trump should pardon Michael Flynn. Thank you very much. Schiff is still the same guy. He's still the same person. And the fact that you have people like Adam Schiff, the fact that you have people like Debbie Wasserman Schultz still in the Democratic Party, the fact that you have Clinton being given awards still in the Democratic Party and running again, that's reason enough to vote Trump 2020. I've explained, and it's just, I know that people... You type in my name on Twitter, you get like hilarious accusations. Like, oh yeah, he became a Trump supporter because of the money. Yeah. I don't know if people understand the MAGA hat. Like, I don't sell like merch, MAGA merch. Okay, you can't walk around Los Angeles with a "Make America Great Again" hat. You don't go from Bernie to Trump because you're doing it as a grift. You go from Bernie to Trump because you're able to think critically, and you're able to realize that, hey, Trump is a very good president. If you can't think critically, and you can't leave that bubble, and you can't, take any condemnation or criticism because of doing so, then you just stay, and you just, I'm not saying everyone, because there are a lot of great people who are still firmly in Bernie's camp or still firmly on the left. That's fine. But I'm saying the shift from Bernie Sanders to Trump is a natural evolution. That should be the case. If you're voting for the Democratic Party at this point, after 2 years with no collusion, and you know that Clinton is behind everything, and you completely ignore all the sins of the Democratic Party, which are far more egregious on every issue, the climate change, President Obama presided over the largest expansion of oil and gas production of any president in U.S. history. President Obama deported more people than any president in U.S. history. President Obama presided over horrendous social issues. Nobody leveled these problems at, he represented this or represented that. It's always, well, Trump represents this, but Trump's presiding over a better record on a whole bunch of issues. So that's another reason that you would vote for Trump. But anyway, hit subscribe. Thank you so very much. Thank you.